Well, after 2 episodes that were probably the best of the season as it is now, well, they follow that up with Requiem. The overall problem for Daredevil, no matter when there's this that's pretty good. I mean, they got him in the suit throughout the entire show. There's a lot of action, some of it pretty good, and stuff like that, and some interesting scenes between some of the characters. But it's just all overwhelmed by the stupidity of it all. You know, the secret prison, but they do bring the suspects to court, but his lawyer can't see him until she's blindfolded and taken to this secret prison, which isn't so secret. They know it's this warehouse in Red Hook, but, well, whatever, but it's a secret complex, and you got to find the secret door to get it. Anyway, Daredevil already broke them all out, so that's looks like that problem solved. You had the stupid stuff with the BB News, but at least they dropped that for a bit, and they do some amount of development here in her story with Soprano Jr. and all that. Oh boy, it's kind of sad and everything, but he realizes, the obvious is that she's the one leaking all the information and everything, and there's a confrontation and what have you. Plus, he has a scary moment with Wilson Fisk's main thug, but it turns out he was just messing with him. He just needed help getting rid of another body. Yeah. So anyway, it didn't go well for Wilson Fisk after last episode. So, he blows off steam by killing a doctor and breaking his spine and stuff and that sort of thing. Later on, he has finally a fight with Daredevil, because what else are you going to do? Meanwhile, you had that CIA guy hanging around, and the idea is that Fisk was going to run the guns for whatever this guy needed them for, and then he ends up stealing them to give it to his ICE officers. Oh, I mean anti-vigilante task force guys, yeah. Which is odd, because the only vigilante they seem interested in is Daredevil. They did arrest the swordsman, but he's long gone, so... and I assume, the Punisher's out there somewhere, but they hardly ever mention him anymore. And that's about it. So, everybody else they arrested were, I don't know, people who ran a bodega and restaurants and stuff. And there was only like a handful of them in that prison, and they've all split. So I don't know, but they all had accents, So, but they didn't dress up in costumes and take the law into their own hands, which would be the point of being an anti-vigilante task force. So none of it really makes sense. And there's so many massive federal violations going on. Although this does happen, sometimes cities declare themselves sanctuaries in violation of federal law, and they get away with it. So, hey, maybe this could work too. I don't know. But anyway, that's the deal. But because he decided to keep the guns, the CIA guy's mad, and so there's a plot to turn on Fisk and get him out of office, which probably will happen. I suspect that both Fisk and Daredevil will end up going to prison. I think that's how that goes. And then, how does he get out? Well, that'll have to be in season number 3, But if they're setting it up where Karen Page becomes the new Daredevil, or at least for a while, with Elektra doing it is somewhat believable because she's Elektra, but Karen? Yeah. Meanwhile, you still got the business of the girl who eventually would be the successor to White Tiger, but she's just this, I'm guessing she's older than she looks, but she's just really small, and this is ridiculous. And they just keep allowing her to be in the midst of all this danger and fights. It's really stupid. So that's what they do. And I guess the guy that's her boyfriend, he gets hurt. So, and I don't know if he lived or not, but there's a big protest, and then the police go brutal on him and all this stuff, whatever. One of the officers who was actually working with Murdoch, but didn't really do a whole lot, they take him out. But Yeah, they didn't really delve into it too much, but anyway, he's done. So that's the deal. And then Kingpin and Daredevil are fighting, and Karen Page gets arrested. So I don't know, but he's crossing the CIA. So now the governor's being brought in to you can make a move, and they're already setting up this lady to succeed Wilson Fisk as mayor. Which fits in with the Spider-Man trailer, or seems to. So I guess at least they thought that through, I suppose. And so there's some theories because the Spider-Man fights the Hand in the movie, and the Hand those are Daredevil characters. And one wonders, they've denied this. Charlie Cox has denied it, that he's not in the film. But I suppose he could always say, I'm not in it, but Daredevil is, and that sort of thing. But it's you. But unless they just have a body double who escapes but he wouldn't be in the suit. I don't know. But anyway, there's that. And the ongoing thing between Karen and Matt about, hey, shouldn't we kill our enemies? And she's all for it. And she almost kills Bullseye, but Matt won't let her. And she's upset about it. And that sort of thing. But anyway, will Daredevil be in the Spider-Man? I don't know. But basically, the show will conclude to set you up for the Spider-Man movie. So it seems like they would have done something about that. But anyway, whatever. And Kingpin will be in prison. But there are scenes of Spider-Man in a prison fighting the Hand. So, what if? And then, of course, Punisher finally shows up, but he shows up in Spider-Man. Of course, he's got his own special coming, so there's that. So I guess that'll be another carryover. So you got to watch that to be ready for Spider-Man, But anyway, even when there's little points here and there, boy, you might have had something here and there, but it doesn't really work well, and it's just cluttered with so much stupidity that, the good just cannot possibly compete with the bad because it's outnumbered by it. So they had 2 good episodes for a while there. That was just, sort of okay. You just got to ignore the stupid, but eventually you can. And such was the case here. So there's 2 more episodes to go. It's too late to really salvage anything, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Oh, yeah, one more thing. During the protests, all the people started putting on Daredevil masks. You know what that reminded me of? Batwoman. When everyone started having Batwoman bat tattoos, and I think some of them even had a mask. I don't know. But, you never go full Batwoman. Yeah, you never want to do that. But they did.